So let's jump into HDL implementation and writing system Verilog code to actually implement the FIFO buffer. And what I want to start with is I want to start with a simple just overview of the whole system. So what you're going to see is we will actually use a register file, and this is just the memory array that we've seen before. It has write data, it has a read data, it has a write address, it has a read address in here. So technically it's a dual port. And each port is dedicated for a specific function. So one port is going to be a write port, and another port it will be a read port. And of course, for the write, what we're going to need is we're going to need a write enable, and that's about it. So it's a register file exactly like we've seen in the memory module. Okay. Then what we have is the FIFO controller circuit, and this is basically what's going to implement the circular queue implementation. So technically, we're using a 2D memory here, or a linearly organized memory, but what we're going to be doing is with a pointer, the implementation of the circular queue is just implemented using the pointers. Basically, I'm pointing to different things in the memory. I'm pointing to different things in memory. I'm basically effectively just doing something with the addresses of the memory. So what we're going to be seeing is the following. I'll be controlling the write address and the read address, and these are basically the pointers, the write pointers and the read pointer. And I'll be just connecting an output from the FIFO controller that is called write address to write address in here, and I'm going to connect the read address to read address in here. All right, so the FIFO itself, it's going to have a couple of status here. We're going to have a status that is called full and another status that is called empty. So these are actually output, and these are, if I'm using the FIFO in a certain subsystem, I need to know whether it's empty, whether it's full, without thinking about whether the two pointers are exactly the same or not. As an end user, the idea of pointers should be abstracted from me. All I need to know is the following. So you're going to see that this in here is what, as an end user, will see. The end user will see, okay, give me a data point in, and issue a write command, and of course you can only issue a write command if it's not full. So you're gonna have to test this here, and if that's the case, that's it. It just gets written somewhere in the right location in the register file. On the other hand, if the other subsystem, as an end user or as an end system in here, will want to read something from the FIFO, it will have access to a write or an output port from the FIFO and a read signal that tells it, hey, fetch the next command, or fetch the next word, and so forth. And of course, I need to stop if it's empty, and that's basically it. So you're going to see that the implementation involves just the FIFO circuits. That's basically what's new in here. We have seen how the memory location is, and we just need to see how we can construct this little thing in here. And internally, you're going to see that I have added this particular gate in here, and if you think about it, it makes total sense. So if you have a write command, and it has to be not full. Okay, this is here. I'm asking, okay, I want to write, I want to make sure that it is not full. This is the only case where you can actually, the write enable will be enabled. That's the only addition. So code organization, you're going to see that I'm going to have to code this one here in a file and another code in here in a file, and then I'm going to put them both in a top file in here, connecting everything you see in here. So whatever we're going to see in Vivado in a couple of minutes or so, you're going to see that we have three files. One is a register file, and this is the new thing, the implementation for the FIFO controller, and the FIFO, which is a top file in here. Okay, so as an end user, you will only instantiate the FIFO, and you will have a FIFO within your system if you wanted it.